buy Xbox One S, get Anthem.
Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. Testing the sound audio. We will begin shortly. Alrighty, good morning guys, welcome back to another stream. It is Friday, 7:33 a.m. and we're gonna pick off right where we left off last time on the stream. So let's just go over where we were on Tuesday and pick up from there. So on Tuesday we began by going over the client info, the client brief, this short brief here. We extracted the information provided. We went over the sketches, which I didn't show that portion, but I plan on showing that in the future. After that, we constructed it. One second. How's the audio for everybody? Anyway, so we constructed the logo concepts. Super confused. Picking up like a weird sound here. Oh, there you go. All right. Figured it out. Alrighty, so we got the client brief. We went over the sketches, all the concepts, built out 2 logo concepts here. We went over a mood board, picked some colors, and I built out these additional 2 concepts here, and I've also made a dark filled version of this logo. Basically just took this outline version and made it filled in. Alright, thanks Son of Odin. Sounds good. So today basically what we will do is show you the process of packaging up the logo and sending out to the client. It's one thing to create an awesome logo, it's another thing to present it properly and for the client to understand what you're showing and what you're trying to sell here. So here's a little checklist on the left here that I put together of things that we will go over, beginning with mockups, and then we'll do some colors. We'll introduce the type and show which type we're using. We're going to show the logo construction. We'll show a size chart, make sure that the logo works on large and small scales. We'll work on the logo colors and the do's and don'ts. So that'll be all in this document here. But before I want to get into that, I think I can take this logo a little farther just with the typography. I think we can make it a little more interesting. And primarily I want to go with this concept right over here. Let me know in the comments what do you guys think about these two concepts, which one you prefer, the one on the left, which is outlined, or the one on the right, which is filled in. So what I want to do here is make the text a little more intricate. I think we can make it a little more interesting. So what I was thinking is to create a stroke around this. And we got to make sure that the spacing is even on both sides. Also, if you're interested in the previous video of building out the actual concepts, you can check that out after in the videos. I read over the suggestions panel and the poll, and it looks like people want to see some UI UX type work, so I think that's what I'll focus on next week. So right now I'm just trying to get semi-even spacing here, and I might need to do it visually just because of the way the logo is balanced with the flower coming off to the side. So if we just zoom out here, I'm basically trying to place the hand visually in the center, and we'll have the flowers sticking out the side here. So let's dupe this. And how's the sound? Let me know if the music's too loud or too quiet. So what we'll do now is we'll cut this out. And I want to add some padding here. Something like this. I think that looks really cool. Alrighty. So we got our outline here, and the idea I have is to wrap the text around. I think that'll look really cool if we wrap Oath and Alchemy around here. And unfortunately we can't do that in Figma, so we're gonna have to hop over to Illustrator. Now, just warning you guys, I'm a complete amateur with Illustrator, because when I started designing and when I got into design, the main tool was Sketch that I learned on, so I never really got into the whole Illustrator and all the details. I know how to use it to an extent, but just giving you guys a fair warning, what you might see might not be the prettiest thing. So without further ado, let's hop in there. So I'm going to export this as a SVG. Alrighty, so we got that exported. Let's open it up here with Adobe Illustrator. All right, sweet. Let's make a file a little larger here. Forgot to set my handy dandy timer here. Alrighty. So we got our logo into Illustrator. Now, what I'll do is draw a rectangle. And let's add a stroke and remove the fill. Can make the border 5 pixels thick just for visual. Let's round this off to match our original rounding. Now I'm going to resize it. Let's fix that rounding. Now it's a bit off here. Let me just fix that here. Okay, dope. That's looking pretty good. Just gotta make sure you keep rounding it down. Alrighty, now the difficult part. Let's try to do this text thing. Okay, type on path tool. Let's do it. Oath and Alchemy. Let's bump that up. See how 60 looks. Let's do 80. Okay, that's pretty cool. Alrighty, so gotta select the correct font, which is I believe is Moret. I think we'll go with regular. Now let's position the font properly here with this little lever. This is where I have some difficulty with the text jumping around here and there. Now to align this properly, I'm going to draw another rectangle. Let's make it 50% opacity. Let's make this 50% opacity. And we'll basically align the letters to this line here. Alright, sweet, that looks pretty leveled there. Let's bring it back up to 100. And let's color pick this. Boom. Alright. It's looking pretty good. I want to resize this. It's pretty neat itself. Let's resize this a little bit. See, the problem I have is when I resize it, it loses that rounding. To be completely honest, I'm not sure how to fix that. Okay, so what I'll do is, I mean, that looks pretty good. I like that. So what I'll do is draw another rectangle. And I'm thinking to add a little bit more text here, like the established and the year. So let's create a border. Hey, Adarsh47, thanks for tuning in. All right, let's create this border and let's round it off. Let's resize this sucker. Alrighty, so the idea for the second text is to write established and the year. So let's write established. Established 2019. I think I'll add some spacing here. Now let's round this around the corner here and we'll leave it at the top. And Where's that little Leo? There it is. All right. No. Okay, cool. Now, this is not as important as Oath and Alchemy, so we don't want it to pull away attention from the actual name. So we'll make this a little bit smaller here. Let's make that half the size, 40. Now let's align it properly. See, this way it's not competing visually with the name. It's a bit too small. Let's make it a little larger here. Do 50. See how that looks. Let's color pick this. All right, what do you guys think? Does this look awesome or what? Just align the spacing here a little more. Now I'm going to try a different variation of this where I'll write established in 2019 on the sides, and we'll kind of give that a shot. But I think it's cool because it's more of like a badge now with the little circle going around. I might add another border on the outside here. But for now, let's just export this back into Figma. So before I do that, I want to expand this. And now we've broken it up into vector. For some reason, when I export it on the text on path, it doesn't convert properly into Figma. So just need to be wary of that. So let's save it as SVG. O and a logo. Sweet. Let's import that back in here. Look at that. So we've gone from this to this in a few minutes here, and with some Illustrator. All right, sweet. I still like this version. I just think that in certain applications this might work a little better, and we'll see that during the mock-up phase, and I'll show you that when we get there. So let's add that exterior border. I think it was 6 pixels. Might be wrong though. I think it's 6, it's just not aligned properly. Okay, yeah, it's 6. Alright, cool. And by the way, if you guys haven't given Figma a try yet, definitely look into that. It's an amazing tool, super simple and easy to learn. Let's make sure this is fully rounded here. Okay, we gotta make sure everything is properly aligned. So let's do I'm just trying to make sure that the spacing and alignment and everything makes sense and works properly. See, the issue with having two different sizes on top and bottom is now it looks a little unbalanced here. Let's see if we can find a solution for that. Maybe centering it like that. So that's awesome. So we have our original logo here. And now we have the second version. Which is the badge shape. I wonder if I can make this a little bit thinner outside here. Maybe by just half a pixel. So let's do 5.5. Now I'm just trying to style up this a bit. It might work, it might not work. We shall see. Thing is, you don't want to make it too busy either. No, it doesn't make sense. Maybe we don't need these at all. Kind of like this version as well, honestly. Let me know in the comments what you guys think and which version you prefer out of these two, left or right. I think in the meantime I'm gonna go with this one. Honestly, I prefer this one here. However, we can always show this as an alternative concept. Okay, so I think we've taken this particular concept far enough and a level where we're at with it. So now let's just copy this over to our next page here and show you how we roll with setting up this document for the client. Alrighty, a bit of styling here. So I like the Monster Art font, so I'll be using that for all the small text. Let's change this to branding exploration version 1.0. Let's make this a little bit smaller. When presenting, we want our document and everything to be cohesive. I think that's how you say it. We want it all to look the same and have the same feel my little logo there. Okay, cool. So for the cover image, let's go to Unsplash. I don't know if you guys know about this, but this website here is where I get a lot of photos. They're royalty free, so you can use them for your projects and stuff like that. It's a really awesome resource here. So let's just search alchemy. Let's find something that we can use as a cover image. Kind of like this image. I think that can work. All right, let's download that. I'm just gonna play around with some styling and making this presentable. Let's lock that back image here. All right, dope, that's looking good. Okay, so what I typically do is we kind of have a little section where we take the client back to the beginning and create a map that guides us to where we are now. So let's throw in the information that was provided just to remind the client and explain why we did what we did. So the idea was to create a logo that was clean, modern, that you can put on anything. And the reason why I went with this logo is it's not too tying to a single object. Like, you don't know what that represents. It's just a hand holding something. It could be a herb, it could be a flower, it could be an ingredient used in something. For example, hair product, health elixirs. That's why it's a very flexible concept. That's kind of why I chose it to be the primary concept to pitch to the client. Alrighty, cool. Let's add them. So you can add a multiply filter here. And that'll get rid of that white background for you. Just close this window here. Okay, so we got our concept. let's just write a quick little explanation here. So hand creates holding leaf ingredient. All right, awesome. So that frame is done, and we'll name this concept. Let's do cover. All right, so we got the cover concept. I'm pretty OCD. I like making sure all my artboards are spaced properly and aligned properly. I don't know if this is just me. Okay, so moving on. So we created the cover image. We've created the first concept exploration. Now, the first thing we do is show the logo, mark, standalone, vectorize. And we'll show it in black and white because we want to make sure that our logo works in black and white, monocolor. So let me split the screen here. As you can see, this thing works awesome black and white, so that's good. Let's make it a little smaller. Okay, after that we move on to show the logo with color and with the text. And I think this is too bold. I think we decided to go with the regular. So let's copy that. Paste it on here. Okay, now I want to show the logo in multiple colors. And just to show the client what colors they can use and apply for different things like bottles or stickers, something like that. So first we'll do this just to show the text and the mark. And I think I want to include this element, but let's do that next. So this is the very base logo, and we need to have a horizontal version and a vertical version. So let's, for this page, let's add the horizontal and vertical versions. Alrighty, here's our horizontal version. Ooh, that looks so good. Love the way this looks. I think I'll actually show this just like this. Let's add some explainer tags as well to these pages so that they're not empty. All right, here let's do mono color. Horizontal. Alright, I'm just naming these. So we got a horizontal version, and now let's create the vertical version. It's looking awesome. I'm just spacing things out here. Okay, vertical. All right, we got those versions in. So this is the standalone logo. Now let's add the logo badge version. What's up, Stianox? Thanks for tuning in, brother. How's it going? Awesome. How do you like this layout of the logo? True that, my dude. All right, cool. So let's show the logo badge. Okay, now let's show the logo in multiple colors and applications. So let's go back to our episode 2 here. Copy these colors, bring them in, and I want to build out sort of like a grid showcasing the logo. And the way we're going to do this is have multiple squares splitting with different colors. Split this one again in half. It's awesome too as well. If you just want to split something horizontally, vertically, you just do /2, whatever that symbol is. Okay, so we got 4 color options here. I think I want to make this a little more interesting, so let's see if we can do that. So this is the first time that we're actually bringing in the color palette. I think what we'll do is split this into 4s. make them stick out a little here. Now I'm just playing with the colors and seeing which ones work best next to each other and with each other. I think we'll have this bottom section start out light, and we'll kind of have it descending into darkness. Maybe let's lighten this last one up a bit. It's too blue over there. Cool. Let's add the header here. And now what we'll do is change the logo and mark in different colors and place it on top of the other colors to see how well they work together. So let's do that. I think I'm going to outline some of this text that we're not going to modify anymore. I like this orange actually a lot. Wonder if this will work better. What do you guys think? This orange or I'm saying orange, but it's like a dark reddish color. I think I'll go with this one. It's looking really nice. All right. Now there's a lot going on here, but the idea is just to show a lot of colors and color interactions. All right, cool. So we're done with this page. Maybe let's flip this. Okay, so we've done those. Let's just see what we've taken care of. Basically logo color. Actually, I'm going to revert this now. Place the colors up here. And typically this is where we show the hex values. So we'll do the darkest on the bottom left here. Now let me show you the tool I use to name the colors. It's a lot easier to refer to colors by names than by the middle dark one. Alright, this is a little program here called Name That Color. You just place in the hex value and it tells you a name. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now real quick. We got desert for the first one. Pickled bluewood, last but not least. Alright, so we got our colors and the hex values. Let's add the size here. The reason for the size presentation is to show the logo scalability, how well it retains its look on a small scale. So we'll start off with a fairly large version here. Let's lock this in scale. By half. So when you zoom out, it still has that general shape. And I think for this slide what we'll do is add a descriptor saying basically saying don't go smaller than this, or else it might lose some of that. Thanks to Darsh47. I think the colors work nicely here and match the style we're going for. So we've created this guide for the size. Let's take care of this. And for the construction, I don't think I'm going to show a construction guide. Typically we show construction when the logos are more built out of shapes and more geometrical, whereas this is freehand and more natural. So we'll skip that one. Now let's add the type. So we're using Morat font. And typically what you do is you add a secondary font that can work with Morat and is more of a paragraph font and used for smaller things, like if we have a label and we have the logo on there, we're not going to use the same font throughout, just because this font might not work on smaller scale and the readability can be lost. So what I'll do here is place some more font, and let's just look for another font that can work next to it. The way to test this font is to make it small and make sure it's still readable. So the Morat font is a unique font, and I think what I want to do is match it with a humanist font, and the humanist style fonts are what separates them from the modern fonts is the way that the letters are shaped. For example, is you can see the O on Open Sans. It's an imperfect circle, whereas for Proxima Nova we have perfect circles for the O's. So this is a more modern leaning font. Honestly, I kind of like the modern one. I think so. So I think we'll go with that one. Okay, cool. So we got our fonts figured out, typography. Now let's do the do's and don'ts, and we'll do the mock-ups last. Best for last. Okay, so the do's and don'ts, we're basically telling the client what to do and what not to do with the logo. And I think I'll just use the vertical version. Okay, so number one, use only approved colors. Let's pick a random color here. Say, hey, does not look good. We do not want to use these colors. Okay, number two, do not distort. So when working with the logo, don't distort it. For number 3, do not space out the logo elements. So we don't want to place the text too far apart from the logo or make anything spaced out too far. Number 4, do not change the opacity. It's like a little rule book to follow. 5, do not add a drop shadow, because that looks whack in some cases. Number 6, do not add stroke. Number 7, do not bevel or emboss. Honestly, this one, the way I just show this is by adding a different layer in the background and darkening it. Number 8, do not add extra copy. And number 9, do not place on angle. To build a strong brand, you have to have a brand that works and is recognizable. And if you continue adding all kinds of spins and twists to it, it's just gonna look different on every application. So we send over this little usage guide. Alright, cool. Now let's hop into the fun part. The mockups. So for mockups, I use a site called Mockup World. This is an awesome site. Again, all these, majority of these are free, and they have tons of mockups. Once you get here, you go straight into the mockups right here. View all free mockups, and there's just 161 pages of awesome stuff that you can get. So what I'll do is go ahead and search bottle. We want to show this in real life scenarios in the real world to get a better understanding of what the logo looks like and for the clients to understand. Let's find something that works with their style and the vibes that we're going for. It's pretty cool, might work. Just quickly scrolling through and seeing what works. Cool, let's download these. Okay, this was having a little issue, so I'll just go with the 2 that I have downloaded. I'm just extracting these files now. Let's open them up in Photoshop. Alright, cool. Got our mockups. Now let's edit these labels. We'll export the logo. We'll do the badge here in white. I'll just export it in like 3x to make sure that the quality's high. Let's hop right back into Photoshop and import our file here. scale it down a bit here. Okay, so that's looking a little weird here. Let's fix that. The alignment's off. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. Now for this second bottle, let's export just the mark. Alright, dope, we got that in there. Now for the third concept, what I'll do is import this logo, export, then import. Definitely recommend using mockups when presenting logos. There's a lot of things you can tweak here. Alright, so let's save that as a PNG here. Do mockup 1, and I'm just gonna place this randomly inside the document. Okay, and let's try that other mockup that we downloaded. Okay, this has a little more complexity. Okay, we got the label here. Let's copy the size over. So we're looking at 393 and 781. For the sizing here. And I'm just going to make a simple simple tag here. Let's do private. I'm just adding a little fluff here. See what it says here. 300 milliliter. Let's add that as well. Now this is technically going above and beyond, but it really makes a difference when presenting logos. See how this looks. All right, sweet. Let's just add one more mock-up here. 468. Now we have to, I don't think a square will work. We'll have to add a rounding to it. I think this white will mess with the mock-up, yes. Let's export that as a PNG. Just wondering how to, oh, okay. Just gonna get rid of this. All right, sweet. So we got our second mock-up here, ready. Let's bring this in and wrap up that brand doc. And the final page to finish off our document. Awesome, and our brand presentation doc is complete. Now this is ready to be prototyped, so let's do that. Now let's see what we've created. Alright, so we got the cover. Oath Alchemy Branding Exploration 1.0. First page, we show the sketch and the concept and explain why we created it. And typically whenever you want to show this, you want to present it in person to the client. It helps a lot. Next we show the sizing. After that we show monocolor logo that it works on black and white. Next we show the horizontal version with the text, as well as the vertical version with the text. After that we do the logo badge. We present the mock-ups. We show logo colors working with what the logo works on, how the colors interact and how they look. We present the color palette. We show the fonts, primary and secondary, the incorrect usage. We show the mock-ups, and last but not least, the thank you page. There you have it. That's basically 2 episodes of branding from start to finish. If you haven't watched the first one, go ahead, it's in the videos, you can see it there. It's been a little over 60 minutes, but that's okay. We have to finish this off on a Friday. I'm thinking next week to work on either mobile or web UI UX, something for a dribble shot. And I'm also considering streaming later at 6 p.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So thanks for tuning in. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.